Hi. So, I was asked to come on here to describe a few things having to do with the shamanic journey. And the only reason I call it the shamanic journey is that so you know what I'm talking about. I don't mean a journey getting on a train. I mean a journey into the dream time. So that's why I call it shamanic. I don't mean that it is kept to just a select few initiates. It's something that basically, and this is part of why I've been asked to come on today, is that basically it's available to everyone and it's much more available to everyone than we necessarily believe. So I'm just going to take a minute and allow the field to build itself. Um, and as that happens, that's basically as easy as it is to slip into the shamanic journey. So, as you're feeling the field opening, as it's building itself, no matter when you're watching this video, I want you to take that in as an example to your system about how straightforward it is to make the shamanic journey. Now, what happened this morning, what happened throughout the course of the past several hours is that I was shown kind of a few launching off points within the map of the field of the journey. And largely what has been wanted to be communicated is that there is this place, and it's basically the realm of the teacher. So, the realm of the ascended masters, saints are there, the angels are there, galactic friends are there, ancestors are there. So, there's a realm, and it's not just up and away, it's a realm that, of course, moves both inside and outside. So, there's a realm that is of the teachers, the ascended masters. And often, what happens when we go on a shamanic journey is we are learning and we're teaching our systems how to get there. We're learning how to get to basically, and people will talk about having dreams of universities. That's kind of that's a similar that's a similar idea. That's a similar concept. They're probably in that realm. So it's the realm of like the universities of universal knowledge. You're going to find, like I said, all your teachers there. So when you start going on a shamanic journey, you start exploring those paths. Basically, as I said, what you're doing is you're teaching your system to go to those places, go to sort of the classroom of your particular teacher. And there's a whole lot of stuff in between here and there. There's a lot of different pathways. There's a lot of different encounters you can have. There's a lot of different spirits, depending on how you travel and how your spirit is aware of traveling. That can feel like a kind of astral projection kind of situation. It can take on a lot of different kinds of forms. But I've spent the past several years sort of learning the realm, at least in my map. Everyone's map is different. So in my map, sort of what the realms between here and there look like. And it's been my impression all this time that I've basically just been trying to get to the realm of the teachers, that that's been the end goal, is I'm trying to get to the realm of the teachers. And that is, and it also is not true. Because as we know in the awakening and the development of knowledge, every goal is the first step to another goal, to another discovery. And so, while it is a worthwhile adventure to teach your system, and by practicing the journey on how to arrive basically at your teacher's door, um, there's another way to go. And the teachers have wanted me to share that with you today. So you go through the process of the journey, you go through the process of the adventure, you go through the process of learning about your spirit guides who will deliver you to your teacher. Um, but there's a way to basically slip into the home of your teacher without really going through the process, without having to listen to the drumming, without having to lay down in a dark room, that sort of thing. And what it has to do with is the relationship that you have with silence. And I think today this came up because the silence today is immense, and that can be really challenging for people, or it can be really a relief for people. So, depending on your constitution and what your normal coping mechanisms are, this could be a lot, or this could be really delicious to you. So the silence has taken on a new level today. Also, it's the vernal equinox, which I just learned. I can't believe I did not realize today is the equinox, which is another massively energetic, powerful day. And it's important to take advantage of it. It's again having to do with the symmetry of the arrangement of ourselves with the sun, and just using all the tools that you have. Equinox is one of those. So, if you know how to journey, you know how to do the whole sinking into the drumming, sinking into the rhythm, that sort of thing. Um, but there is another way, which is kind of a down and in way. And what the teachers have told me is that it has to do with the relationship to silence and the capacity of the individual to be truly, completely, amazingly alone in the silence, and then to meet with the willingness in themselves to be with their teacher. So then what happens in that sort of fragment of a second, and it's really hard to describe, but it's a sinking into the silence without having to sink into the journey, that then allows the teacher to come down and scoop you, basically. So you can come get like snatched by your teacher, or you can make the journey. There are two ways to go about it. Okay. So, having to do with the practice of silence, what you're doing is you are acknowledging with your teacher that, and this is another important component of that, you're acknowledging with your teacher that you just want to be with them. My voice got froggy. So that's telling me that that's one of the more important points. Your desire to be with your teacher must equal the desire that your teacher has to be with you. And what the like snatching of you into the teacher's realm means is that your desire to be with your teacher matches that of your teacher's desire to be with you. So your teacher wants to be with you. Your teacher really longs to be near you, to spend time with you. There's a silence together time that your teacher wants with you. And when you sink into your silence and your willingness and that understanding that you want to spend silent time with your teacher, that's when they come and get you. Now, notice what it is not. It is not going to get a healing, it is not going to get a teaching. It is simply spending time with the teacher. Okay. This is really important information. And I have a desire to speak it clearly, but I'm afraid that um, it's such a hidden realm that it's hard to create words to go around it. So, fundamentally, the idea here is that you are going on a journey by way of grace. You are going on a journey by way of the love that is between teacher and student. Now, you can go get a healing, you can go get a teaching from someone you consider to be your teacher, but they haven't really initiated you because you haven't cultivated the relationship. And so the idea here is the importance of cultivating the relationship. The idea here is the importance of who you are to each other. And so while you're on earth, so then yes, that creates different relationships between the same two beings depending on the realm. So while you're on earth, your relationship with that being, if they are a being that is known on the planet, will be different than your relationship to them when you're in the realm of the teacher, will be different from your relationship with them when the two of you leave the realm of the teacher to go and receive teachings together, to go and receive the journey together. And so what happens is then a you receive an initiation into your relationship with your teacher that has to do with the awareness of the cultivation of the space that they have made for you. So your teacher, in the realm of the teachers, in the place that you meet with this teacher, has made that space for you specifically, you, the capital U, the higher self you. And so that's where you go and you hear your real name or your real title. And what it is, it's usually a very elevated, a very high quote ranking title, not because it's a supplication on behalf of your teacher, but because it's a command of your further conduct, both on the earth plane and in the realm of the teacher. I also wanted to say that the realm of the teacher has been reflected onto the earth plane in times of Renaissance. So there's the Renaissance, capital R as we know it. There's also the Golden Age of Islam. Both of those instances in history are direct reflections of the realm of the teacher that have to do with collaboration, coming together, discovery, exploration, knowledge, wisdom, um, peace, um, all of that. So that's why those have been particularly accelerated times, is that they've been kind of a direct channel to the realm of the ascended masters. I also want to point out that when Muhammad went on his journey, one of the most poignant parts of that is that when he comes back, the jug of water that got knocked over when he left is still spilling. And so that's a sign to me that this was an instance of basically him being snatched off of the earth plane by his journey, by the learning that that desired him and that he met in that moment. He met the desire of the journey in that moment. So, the shamanic journey is a very simple and straightforward thing. It's something that we resist with our physical experience. And I don't mean resist in the negative sense, as a word that we use for each other and trying to get away from things. We create reality here so that we have a reality to work with. But it's a very natural, very simple, very easy state for us to be in, that's always sort of underneath the surface, which is the shamanic trance state, which is the basically the ability, the very it's like flow. It can be like flow. And it can also feel very slippery in the body, like it's very easy for you to change planets, all that kind of thing. So, the realm of the Ascended Masters is really asking you to recognize that um, they want to be with you. They want to be friends with you. They want to hang out with you. They want to sit in the place that they made for you and just have tea. They want to sit in the place that they made for you and play cards. They want to sit in the place that they made for you and let you feel at peace and let you feel the connection to your knowing. The rooms and the buildings and the castles that they build for you, they build in like the finest crack of plaster. All you have to do is let the tiniest crack happen in you, and they will build you kingdoms in that crack. They will build you kingdoms in just the tiniest so called weakness in your armor. They will give you infinite space, infinite rest, infinite restoration, infinite love, for you to feel the awareness and the knowing that is your stream, that streams to you. And it's just a muscle. The journey is just a muscle. So then from there, you will be invited to journey farther. And then from there, you'll be invited to journey farther. And at each level, what happens is that it becomes, in a way, heavier, more difficult to bear. And that doesn't mean in a painful way. Sometimes it means in a very pleasurable way. Um, but each level you'll feel again that sort of lack of refinement. You won't be able to focus. You won't be able to see very clearly. Your senses won't be super clear. It'll be more macro than micro, not very refined, be very heavy, kind of clumsy. And then it will begin to refine, and you'll start to see sort of the purpose of that level. And then you'll be invited to go to the next level, and the next level, and the next level, and the next level. And it's up, 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 and in. So, this is a strong invitation. It's a strong invitation to allow yourself to make the journey that's actually very easy. Making a shamanic journey with sort of your mind and your imagination can sometimes be a frustrating practice. This is a huge portal opening, making itself available, making itself consciously known, basically making a request saying, let yourself be taken to the realm of the ascended masters. Let yourself be taken there. Let yourself rest there. Let yourself soak in the bliss that is there, the bliss that is the absorption of, um, like I said, that your knowledge, and the desire of relationship, the desire of friendship, the desire of companionship, the desire of silent togetherness with those on this plane you worship. Can you maintain your sense of calm? Can you maintain your composure? Can you cope with just hanging out with the same creatures, with the same masters who here you bow to, right? And so going to the realm of the ascended masters is a little bit of a practice in not being starstruck. And you'll also notice that in your dreams. You'll fall out of a dream oftentimes if you can't maintain your composure. You'll likewise fall out of a journey if you can't maintain your composure. And that has to do with not trying too hard, for one. There we go. Another tickle in my throat. It's a big one. Not trying too hard. Allow yourself to be easily triggered. That sound, the sound of the teacup, that could trigger it. The sound of anything can trigger the knowledge of the silence. So I hope I will be forgiven my clumsy words. And it is my prayer that those who can perceive, it is my great desire and longing that those who can perceive will find their way to the knowledge that's offered everywhere for them, like electricity in the air. My prayer is that our human desire can match the desire of the exalted ones. My words belong to them. My action belongs to them. The ones who have broader vision than personal interest. The ones who have broader vision than simple relief. Today can make a lot of people feel insane, especially if you feel like you identify with being crazy. Or it can be felt as the doorway and the tunnel, the gateway that it is. My prayer is that you begin to see, if you don't already, how much your path desires you. How much your destiny longs for you, but can wait infinitely, can wait eternally. Because it is inevitable, even if it's forever, it's still inevitable. So the Ascended Masters are building these precise places that are just to hold you in your highest wisdom, just to hold you in your greatness, just to hold you in your beauty, just to hold you in your rest and exaltation, just to hold you in your sweetness. They don't always want to just be there as still deities, you know? People go to the realm of the teacher and they continue to deify these beings. But the relationship is so much more nuanced than that once you get there. It's more even than to say collaborative, it's more than that. But you have to use your focus, you have to use your self-discipline, you have to use your discernment, and you have to know the difference between when a space has become refined or not. When it's still, you can ask a being what their name is and not be able to hear them, or not be able to distinguish their face or whatever. And that's okay too. But it's just a sign that the space still has yet to complete itself. It's still building, it's still refining. And you can journey beyond that. There's always something you don't always have to go farther. You don't always have to stay. And like all magical things, it's a question of just letting it. But that's the hardest thing to do, right? It's hard until it's not. Just letting it. Just letting it be. Trust. Belief. Believing in the radiance. Celebrating the radiance. To sit with an ascended master who loves you, to sit with them and laugh with them is one of the most powerful positions a human can take. Not necessarily going there to bow to them like you bow to them here. So now I'm going to read. I opened up Emerson to just any page, and it turns out to be the same number as the time that I woke up from my journey today. So I figure this is our number for the day. And from here, this is from Emerson's essay called Experience, if it were not. God delights to isolate us every day and hide from us the past and the future. We would look about us, but with grand politeness, he draws down before us an impenetrable screen of purest sky and another behind us of purest sky. You will not remember, he seems to say, and you will not expect. All good conversation, manners, and action come from a spontaneity which forgets usages and makes the moment great. Nature hates calculators. Her methods are saltatory. I didn't know what that meant. Um, Leaping and impulsive. Man lives by pulses. Our organic movements are such, and the chemical and ethereal agents are undulatory and alternate, and the mind goes antagonizing on and never prospers but by fits. We thrive by casualties. Our chief experiences have been casual. The most attractive class of people are those who are powerful obliquely and not by the direct stroke. Men of genius, but not yet accredited. One gets the cheer of their light without paying too great a tax. Theirs is the beauty of the bird or the morning light, and not of art. In the thought of genius there is always a surprise, and the moral sentiment is well called the newness, for it is never other, as new to the oldest intelligence as to the young child, the kingdom that cometh without observation, which refers to Luke 17:20, where Luke says, "The kingdom of God cometh not with observation, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you." In like manner, for practical success, there must not be too much design. A man will not be observed in doing what he can do best. There is a certain magic about his properest action which stupefies your powers of observation, so that though it is done before you, you wist not of it. The art of life has pudency and will not be exposed. Every man is an impossibility until he is born, everything impossible until we see a success. The ardors of piety agree at last with the coldest skepticism that nothing is of us or our works, that all is of God. Nature will spare us the small. Nature will not spare us the smallest leaf of laurel. All writing comes by the grace of God, and all doing and having. I would gladly be moral and keep due metes and bounds, which I dearly love, and allow the most to the will of man, but I have set my heart on honesty in this chapter, and I can see nothing at last in success or failure than more or less a vital force supplied from the eternal. The results of life are uncalculated and uncalculable. The years teach much which the days never know. Thank you. I'll see you another time.